Could there be something deeper going on beneath the surface with ADHD? Like maybe the challenges are similar to something else, other aspects of who you are. Well, I've got news for you. There is, and it's your personality. In this episode, we are exploring the similarities between ADHD and the big five personality traits. And my friend, this is going to deepen your understanding of yourself and ADHD, and it might also give you a few missing pieces in your self-awareness puzzle. We're talking science, insights, and of course, clarity. Welcome to Phenomenally ADHD. I'm your host, Zarina, ADHD and money coach, unapologetic Gen X ADHDer who's done more personality quizzes than you can imagine. You could say I'm a bit obsessed with them. And I've always been fascinated by personal growth, the complexity of human beings, why we act the way we do, think the way we do, feel the way we do. I mean, for me, it's a joyful and ongoing adventure. And I'm one of those who believe that as human beings, we're here to evolve. And it's been part of a quest I've been on pretty much all my life, but more so ever since finding out I have ADHD. And as a member of the late diagnosed club, well, it brought additional elements that I was unaware of before. And ADHD is definitely part of who I am, but it doesn't define who I am because I think there's a lot to take into consideration, and personality is one of them. ADHD and your personality have more in common than you can think. So after listening or watching, if you're on YouTube, you'll know how certain aspects of your personality point to ADHD, what tests you can do that give you substantial insight and data, why ADHD is not the only explanation to your challenges, or might not be, and why big five personality traits link to ADHD. And my mission here is always to guide, support, and coach you in ditching the labels and learn how to work with your brain. See what's possible when you have strategies that amplify the greatness that is already there, your strengths, talents, and abilities. When you get clear and are able to move toward what you really desire and transform entirely how you experience life with ADHD. And you'll probably agree with me on this one. Both ADHD and personality are complex. Either way, this is what I know. There are reasons and explanations behind the difficulties we encounter with ADHD and the way we act, feel, and think the way we do. Like I said, personality comes with a lot of complexity. And the more you know about yourself, the more light you're able to shed on reasons and explanations of your actions, feelings, and thought patterns. The less you feel like a stranger to yourself, and you dismantle the belief that there's something wrong with you, because there isn't. So the most studied traits in psychologies are the big five's ocean, which is the short form of openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. I have my notes with me because it's pretty specific information when we get to the description of each of them. And there's no way my ADHD brain is going to memorize that much information. So openness, also called openness to experience or open-mindedness, is how receptive someone is to new ideas. Facets include intellectual curiosity and creative imagination. Conscientiousness refers to one's propensity to control impulses and act responsibly and productively. Extraversion is a person's level of energy with which it interacts with the outside world and other people. It includes sociability, assertiveness, and enthusiasm. Agreeableness is the degree of positivity and helpfulness toward other people. It includes compassion, altruism, and trust in others. Neuroticism, which is sometimes called negative emotionality, is one's disposition to experience challenging emotional states, and those people tend to feel negative emotions more easily. So recently, I looked at the results of different personality tests I did, including the Big Five. And I will talk about 16 personalities in a little bit, but here's where it gets interesting when it comes to the Big Five personality assessments. There is scientific evidence showing a link between the Big Five, ADHD, and executive function. What I'm about to share is going to make a lot of sense, especially if you've done the Big Five personality assessment. If not, well, I'm pretty sure you'll want to do it. But before I break down this information for you, is there someone with ADHD you can think of right now, like that comes to mind and you're like, oh my God, this person really needs to know what I'm learning right now? Well, if that's the case, share this episode with them so they too can see the commonalities between ADHD and personality. And why not join the phenomenally ADHD movement so that there's more of us rewriting the script and story of Gen Xers, millennials, and Gen Zs who grew up misunderstood. And you can do that by hitting subscribe or follow. I really appreciate your help in giving a push to this content. Now, back to the Big Five personality traits and the link with ADHD, looking at 3 of the 5 traits: conscientiousness, neuroticism, and agreeableness. Conscientiousness involves constraining impulses, effortful attention, planful behavior, organization, and achievement goal orientation. Conscientiousness really is all about self-regulation. And what research has shown is that inattentive symptoms in ADHD children and adults and hyperactivity and impulsivity in adolescents are associated with low conscientiousness. Fascinating, isn't it? My personal Big Five chart definitely illustrates a level that is slightly below the line between low and high conscientiousness, and it makes a lot of sense with my own ADHD challenges. Neuroticism reflects a tendency towards excessive negative affectivity, emotional reactivity, as well as low self-esteem. Agreeableness, on the other hand, reflects compassion, empathy, and cooperation. Now, in many children and adolescents with ADHD, levels of neuroticism or negative emotionality are high, and levels of agreeableness are low. Those with low neuroticism and high agreeableness are children and adolescents that show less hyperactivity and impulsivity. As for adults, researchers found that hyperactive impulsive symptoms were linked to lower levels of agreeableness. High levels of neuroticism, on the other hand, correlated with inattentive symptoms. So it's rather interesting to be looking at ADHD challenges through the lens of the Big Five personality traits. Now, another assessment that for me really brings a lot of similarities with ADHD is my 16 personalities profile. Now, 16 personalities is an assessment that is based on the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or the MBTI. And the profiles are regrouped in 4 different categories: the analysts, diplomats, sentinels, explorers. And I've linked the 16 personalities and the Myers-Briggs in the description if you want to do or redo any of those assessments. My 16 personalities profile is the campaigner, and I have to admit, it describes me quite accurately. And I wouldn't tell you where I'm reading this information from, and what you would hear, I'm sure you would associate it directly with ADHD traits and challenges. It's like crazy. Another thing that is crazy is that I was able to actually match certain characteristics from my sacred money archetypes. All that to say that all 3, the Big Five, the 16 personalities, and the sacred money archetypes really have a lot in common. So I'm going to share a few highlights and then celebrities that are also campaigners, because I think it's fun. And then I will share some more traits. But here it goes. So campaigners have a mind that is in a constant whirlwind. And they have a lot of ideas, possibilities, and each one is more exciting than the last. They approach life with an infectious energy, charisma, and genuine interest in people. And that makes them natural connectors and inspirational forces. And here, for sure, I see the connector in the sacred money archetypes. They're curious. Their curiosity knows no bounds. They have an insatiable appetite for new experiences and perspectives. And this openness, combined with their vivid imagination, allows them to see potential and opportunity where others might not. Here, I definitely see the maverick, because it's the one that is excellent at championing others. The mind of the campaigner moves at lightning speed. It jumps from one exciting idea to the next. They have a hard time to focus on mundane tasks or stick to routine. They start numerous projects, leave them unfinished for new, more exciting ones. Doesn't that look a lot like ADHD traits? Before I continue on with the highlights, here are a few celebrities that have a campaigner profile: Jennifer Aniston, Robert Downey Jr., Will Smith, Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, Ellen DeGeneres, Kelly Clarkson, Meg Ryan, Sandra Bullock. And did I mention Will Smith? I think I did, but just in case I didn't. So campaigners are really not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. And this idealism, coupled with their natural empathy makes them powerful advocates for causes they care about. And here in the sacred money archetypes, there's definitely the alchemist. The conventional 9 to 5 is going to feel stifling for campaigners because they have a free spirit nature. They struggle with strict routine and repetitive tasks. And here I really see my top 3 archetypes: the maverick, the alchemist, and the connector. Here's what your sacred money archetypes can do for you. They can really help you get out of financial fog and help you conquer money chaos by making it easy to understand your money personality, your story, your habits, and behaviors, but also the ADHD challenges that you have with money. Because the thing is, when it comes to money and ADHD, for a lot of us, one of the reasons why it's so challenging, it's because it requires several executive functions that we have a hard time with. Sacred money archetypes also give you a super accurate portrait of your beliefs, your blockages, your motivations, and what makes you tick about money. So if you want long-lasting change, make sure to check out the link in the description to the coaching program, Unlock Your Financial DNA, or how you can actually take that assessment and discover what your top 3 archetypes are, so you have this clear portrait of what is actually going on and the codes that are programmed in your DNA. So once you have your archetypes, really, they become a catalyst for growth, literally. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, which was a little bit different, but still in the phenomenally ADHD mission to look at ADHD in as many different ways as possible so that you can actually change how you see yourself and ADHD. Because it turns out that there is a lot of commonalities between ADHD and your personality. And once you do the Big 5 personality test or the 16 personalities assessment or the SMA or all 3 of them, well, you'll have this wide range of elements, information that just makes it easier to be you. You don't have to try to be someone else. You don't have to pretend to be someone else. You're like, okay, this is who I am. Isn't that just a wonderful thing? So I sincerely hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, share it with a fellow ADHDer, and don't forget to hit subscribe or follow so we stay connected and you are notified when a new episode comes out. Until next time, keep on rocking that badass and phenomenal ADHD brilliance of yours. Sending lots of love your way, and we'll catch you in the next episode.